What's up, guys? John Sentes, Cutternation, Alex Rojas, Nama Strength. Together, we form the Let's Win a Ball Game podcast. This is one of our favorite things to do. We try to connect at least once a week, but we've both been so busy because it is summer months. So we got a lot of fun stuff going on over at Cutternation, but I'm going to let my guy Alex go first today. Alex, what's going on in your world?
Camps are going on at TPC. For those of you who are looking for your kid to just play some baseball, honestly, it is a little bit of a time saver for parents with the summer months. You need your kid to be gone for a couple hours. I get it. But also, we are launching into more training hours because you got obviously the summer is open. So if you want to come in on Mondays and Fridays, and you are a high school or a college guy, the mornings are available. Contact me or go through TPC, but probably be a little bit easier if you contact me first. We can arrange some things. And especially if you're looking to hit and you're an older guy, let me know. Mondays and Fridays, we can make things happen. Outside of that, that's it. We're trying to get more college guys. I'd say that's our main focus this summer is the guys that are preparing to go back. They need a place to train. And I think that, again, just like you've experienced, there's just not enough places for these guys to do what they need to do because you can almost autopilot with these guys. They
Right.
just need space, and sometimes they need eyeballs and ears. That's all. They need eyeballs, ears, and space. Because if you let them work, like, did you see that video of that dude throwing 95 to a chair? And then that dickhead Little League coach comes up and he's like, hey, get out of here. Go. That dickhead Little League coach comes up and he's like, what are you doing? Right? And the dude's like, I'm just trying to get better, right? That's really all it takes for a college pitcher that probably throws 95. You really just need a target and a mound.
Yeah.
And I can work on some really good stuff. And that's about as simple as it gets. But for some reason, the guys out here don't realize that you can hit here as well. And we got hit tracks. We've got pitching machines. We've got sequences. But so many of you college guys, I'm going to be honest, you don't have soft skills. Like, I don't think any of you could draw what a curveball looks like. Like, if I asked you to make, like, a pen and be like, hey, draw what does a curveball look like out of a release point where you are? Like, if you're standing, like, if I'm looking at John, right? Like, what would the curveball look like? Could you draw it? Right? I don't think a lot of you guys could do it. Prove me wrong. So that's where I feel like a lot of you guys still need to train, man. That's where I'm at. Soft skills today. Soft skills. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, we talk about live at-bats all the time, but it's like, what do you know about baseball? Like, if you and I were to sit down for, like, you and I talk about all the time, like, we can literally prove the way that we talk about baseball that we've thought about it a lot.
Right.
Not just practiced it, but thought about it.
Totally. 100%. Yeah, and over here we are smack dab in the middle of summer training. We've got all of our programs running right now. I'm so excited. So we'll start at the beginning. We have our summer training happening for youth, high school, and college. We have 3 live at bat training programs going on right now. I'm so excited about it. Colleges are Friday mornings. They will actually mix in with our college summer team guys and just really just do a bunch of high level battling, myself throwing including. Saturdays are when we have our youth guys. Our youth guys will be going in, battling on our hit tracks and our TrackMan and get radar guns, 10 to 12 from 50 feet. And then also Sundays, we have our high school 60 feet stuff going. So I'm very happy about the progress of how everybody's doing. We had a ton of signups. And I think those last 10 to 12, we had like 14 kids coming. We had like 7 guys throw. And so, like, it's just good to see that people are starting to understand training a little bit more, and sparring instead of just nothing but tournaments is definitely more valuable in the training academy for sure. So if you don't know that yet, like, these kids are getting 10 at bats in 3 hours, guys. Like, that's a weekend for some of you people. You know what I mean? And so, like, the efficiency that happens through that, yeah, you're going to get hit. People are going to be wild. That's going to happen anyway in a tournament. So, like, just it's more about the attempt and being in the fire and learning how to compete. So if you want to learn how to compete, like we have every level of baseball they can help you with, and we can help you in any way. So excited about some future stuff coming on that we're working on over here too. We are Twitch streamers now, so check us out on Twitch. We're big video game guys, so we do the show, Call of Duty, maybe some UFC, so we'll throw out some stuff from there. So follow us on Twitch or any of our gaming channels. And yeah, if you, any other things you want to like and subscribe, Cutter Nation, let's win a ball game, let's party, you know? So
So
what's where are we going? Are we going college baseball playoffs? Are we going
definitely college baseball
what,
playoffs right now.
right? So
I have a it's okay. It's definitely a trick question. Definitely a trick question. Okay,
love that. Like
but
how we're
it's not that
starting with
trick
trick
question.
question.
Can you tell me which state had the most teams in the College World Series?
Texas.
No. The Carolinas, North and South Carolina. Bro, they had like 3 regionals in that
Oh
area.
wow.
So
Oh wow. Yeah.
they had Conway, so that's Coastal Carolina. Then they had
Coastal.
one in South Carolina, and then they had one in Clemson. That's
Wow.
3 in Carolina itself. Those are just
That's
hosting.
crazy.
And then Carolina
Yeah.
schools themselves, right? And
Yeah.
so it goes back and makes me think, what's going on in these areas in terms of recruiting and like how they're structuring teams to win? Like, let's check out these schools. Like, how are they creating rosters? Because that's kind of where I'm
Right.
at. When I watch these baseball games, I'm just like, these guys are just, you're playing the show. Go outside.
Right.
Go outside. Go outside. You're playing the show, right? And you get that.
Yeah.
I forget what the name of it is, but it's where you get to download like 5 diamonds, 7 golds, like 8 silvers, whatever that actual platform is called. But it's just like a lottery pick, right? That's kind of what
Right.
like a college roster is going to be like. It's like realistically, you're not going to have 25 diamond level guys on your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a
Yeah.
couple dudes. You're going to have a couple guys that are everyday players. You're going to have a couple guys that are, you know, they're going to be streaky. Then you got a couple guys where it's like, man, I just need you to play every couple days and just fill in a couple spots. But
Yeah.
what I want to get your opinion on is, where are we at in terms of, like, I keep watching this shit. The fucking
What is it?
what
Oh
is
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
What's the name of this? What do we call that?
I think it's a watch.
Is it
I
a
think
pitch
it's a watch
com?
with
Is
it's
that
a
what we
pitch
call it?
com.
The pitch com?
Yeah, it's a pitch com watch. Yeah.
Right? Whatever that is, right? And I'm watching the pace of the play because I went to Stanford A&M on the Sunday. It was Stanford had to win to play on Monday. It's when
Yeah.
Tommy Troy hit a ball about 9,000 feet to left field, and I saw that live. Bro, it just takes a long ass time. I feel like it's even slower than a pro game. Like
That's on the coaches. Yeah,
if
that's
it
on the
wasn't for
coaches.
the lack of commercials, it would be a longer game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's on the coaches. Right. Yeah, for sure.
You already got an earpiece in the catcher, bro. He looks like Secret Service back there.
Yeah, is it earpiece and a pitch comp? Like
What
what?
are we doing? Like, we both
Yeah,
got to be
what
on a
are we
suit.
doing? Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
but okay, so I got to ask your opinion. As a pitcher, would you, like, because this is so confusing. Like, do you want to know what you're throwing if somebody's already calling the game for you? Like, do you need a pitch comp? You know what I mean? It just seems redundant.
It's
Like,
control. That's what it is. It's a
yeah,
control thing. It's
you
my team.
know,
You're gonna throw what I want you to throw. That's what it
it
is.
seems odd. Like,
Oh, nobody's teaching strategy. They're just telling you what to do on everything. So you have a bunch of robots, and then when they graduate, they don't know how to play the damn game.
oh, can you do the great job of explaining this? Because I'm not gonna. I know I talk a lot, but I'm not gonna explain this. What do you call the number wristband? What would you call that? And how would you explain that to somebody? Because Katie asked me, like, why does he keep flashing numbers and then the players look at their wristband, right? Like, and I was trying to explain, well, that's like the signs of what he wants. And Katie's like, well, why does that matter? But like, can you like, where college baseball has gone to where it's like everybody knows what's happening at every single portion of every pitch. Like we're all trying to think the same thing. Can you, am I right on that? Can you explain that and then talk about it?
I don't understand what you're asking, actually.
So, you know, like coach comes out of the dugout, everyone's got their wristband on. It's got like the grid of all the numbers.
Are we
He's like 5-5-2.
Are we on offense or defense? Are we on offense or defense?
I mean, I've seen it on both sides of the ball, dude. Like they wear it on their belt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they just flip it up. So like, I didn't play with that. I never played with it, and I was never against it. But I never played with a coach that made us do it. Have you ever played with that?
Yeah, I used the system when I was coaching in high school for a little bit.
Can you explain that to me? I'm not against it, or I need to understand that.
It's so I can communicate specific ideas.
How specific are we talking about?
Like I could go. So what I had is I had 4-number system that was categorized and almost random. So 0, like you couldn't go like things started with 0 were fastballs, 1s were change ups and stuff right in there, right? So I could go 0, 1, 2, 3, and he would look at 0, 1, 2, 3, and it would say fastball 2 inches off the plate.
Okay.
Right. So I could be very specific about the spot and the idea I'm sending to the catcher.
Okay.
Right. Right. And that's what the pitch com's trying to do too. But like the pitch comms is slow, number one. It's not very fast. So if you're going to send something in, it's probably going to take a full second. You know what I mean? So you're still waiting for that. So you're waiting 3 or 4 seconds to make a decision on what pitch, and then you're looking at your charts, and then you're typing in whatever it says. Maybe there's a preset thing.
Do I type it in?
Well, when I used the pitch comms that we used at the ABCA that we messed around with were clunky, dude. I didn't really like them, to be honest. So I think it's a technology issue. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like a red screen, bad, not even LED, like the old school screen, like just slow, shitty, because they're trying to make it light and cheap. Right, exactly. It was just definitely.
Because like, I'm trying, like, I felt like, and I'm not ripping on Stanford's coach. I like Dave Esquier because I think what he's done to Stanford, he makes them a lot more fun to watch, and they're way different than what they used to be. They used to be very like, they had the pullover jersey with no buttons and the V cut from 1964, right? And now he's got them, you know, all mustache at the College World Series in black jerseys. Like they're fun,
right?
But
right,
I don't know if this is true, but I've played against teams that I know that that's true, so I can't speak for Stanford. But they would get so specific to the situation where the card might say steal on the 3rd pitch. Right.
That would make sense, right? But then I think baseball hasn't gone that far. That's like the same thing that I would say about if I were to do the number system now, I wouldn't do it 1 pitch at a time. I would just send in the entire plan. Especially if the catcher, I mean, he had the option to flip something up. So we have a lot of real estate that we could like put information for the catcher to read. And then if he's getting the scouting report to do, like he has a full Tom Brady fucking arm sleeve on here. Remember when Tom Brady had the double one he had like a boom boom? Like so he had a full 3-page fill out of a plan to make sure that Randy Moss could read.
I would love to know what year that was, because if that was the year he threw 50 bombs, like it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's like, dude, I'm so ahead of you because I know. Like I know what I'm doing, right? And it's almost like, dude, I heard a wrestler create an arithmetic around wrestling. He's like, in the sport of 2 people going against each other, there's only 4 scenarios, and then there's 8 things that like he just boom, boom, boom. And this guy's an Olympic coach and wrestler, and he goes, there's only 72 possible ways to win a wrestling match. I was like, what? Mm-hmm. He was like, yep. And I was just listening to that, and I was like, wow, that's a guy who's really understood it. But he went to Russia after spending his whole lifetime in the United States, and he goes, all they talk about is strategy and tactics. He goes, they don't focus on any strength conditioning. He goes, they are strong and they do condition, but how they teach guys how to wrestle is by playing and by teaching guys like how to play from certain positions. So it's literally like what we're talking about. So it's like, hey, every round today, the guy's going to have your leg to start, or you're going to have their head in a headlock, or they're going to be on the ground and you have you're got a bear hug on them, right? Just like simple concepts like that. And it's like, then play, like wrestle from there. And if he breaks free, you go back. But if he gets you down, you go down to the ground. So it's just like first and third. If he scores, next pitcher on. But if he doesn't score, you stay on. You know what I mean? Like sort of deal. But that's how they're teaching their wrestlers how to win. And when you look at their gold medal count, well, first of all, technically they're on there twice because the Soviet Union won like 60. And then Russia's in third. The United States is second, right? Or they're fourth. And they still got like 30. So if you combine it together, it's like, 70 plus gold medals in wrestling versus the US, which is like 50. So it's a very staggering model when you look at like, oh my God, these guys know how to win. But
Right.
when you talk about this sort of stuff, that's what makes me think, is it like the idea of you already know the idea of the outcome and you're trying to simplify what somebody's thinking to just be like, no, this is the outcome that I want. So this is what I want you to seal on the third pitch.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
But maybe they just
It's the same thing. I was asked, I would say the same thing. Watching the new McGregor documentary, one of the things that stood out to me the most was he just wanted to spar all the time, and that's just so important to what we talk about here. That's why I'm excited about our summer training program and how many kids we have in here that are wanting to spar, and it's the message that I've been trying to push to our team here is, help them understand that this is very important. Take it seriously. Like this is preparing for battle, like as best as you can. Put your armor on, upgrade your character, bring your best game to this, right? Throw your nastiest stuff. If you need to work on velo, work on velo. Don't be afraid. You might hit a guy, right? Hey, bring your protective gear. Don't train unsmart, we were talking the other day about maybe telling kids to get little quarterback pads, maybe protect their ribs and live at bats. Why not? I don't think it, especially as like a vest, I don't think it would interrupt the sleeve,
that
you know?
immobile. Those aren't that immobile.
So, it's just about being smart like that, and I think that's one of the things that is missed in baseball. You can't get hurt in training, the no, it's funny to me. A lot of people get mad at a lot of the Latin players for not playing hard. But if they dive and get hurt, they can't eat, so they're just not going to dive. Like so they understand that the defense is like important, but it's like not that important. Exactly. So, and that's rough for a lot of people to hear. To hear the
Best
truth of
ability is
what.
availability, brother. We all know that.
Right.
As you get older,
Right.
you realize that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, even watching that, it's interesting to watch because one of his favorite or one of his least favorite questions, I would say, is people keep saying when is enough, because they're worried about the boxing, the fighting, all that stuff, and you could just see him, you know, 15 years later than when he first did his documentary, and he's got all the freaking tapes and the receipts to back it up, where he just said, "Well, it doesn't really matter." He just keeps saying the same thing. It doesn't really matter about the outcome. It's this warrior mindset that I have to train, I have to get better, I have to try to be the best on the planet. I understand these savages that are coming behind me, you know?
You just got to, like, it's more of I feel like I have really a lot of respect for the guys that are, now this is where Mike Trout, this stage in his career, this is where it's really impressive. Because if you can do the same thing the next 11 years with what you did in the first 11 years, holy shit.
Right.
But that's where guys become Barry Bonds, where you hit 755 home runs. But that's the impressive part of it. It's like, dude, he did that for 22 years.
Right.
22
Totally.
years, he was Barry Bonds every year.
Right.
That's hard. Like, could you imagine just the levels of like change that have come from your own training, right? As you've gotten older, you start throwing stuff out. You're like, oh my God, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that, right?
Yeah.
And now you're training kids. So the kids that you're training, I mean, realistically, they're like, hey, I want you to understand. I'm not saying this to say this, but I've been there. I know what you're thinking.
Right.
Most likely, maybe not 100%, but they're probably parallel, right?
Right.
Trust me.
Right.
Strike fools out in practice. That's how you're going to get better at it. Don't just throw to a dummy.
Yeah.
Like, get real hitters out, right? Because that's how you,
Totally.
like, rest in peace to his right arm, but that's how you become Jacob deGrom.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's how you get really good, is like you have to be really good. You got to get guys out in a variety of ways.
Right. And
By the way,
DeGrom's interesting, right?
By the way, is that guy ever going to come back? Do you think he's going to ever be the same?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's, we've been kicking around the ideas of why DeGrom got hurt again. We have a couple of theories and stuff, but I mean, the first thing that jumps out to me is just like not enough muscle mass to like
Yeah, he's not big.
handle the force, you know? And so like, there's a lot of people think that if you get too big, you don't become as explosive. And like, I just don't. Look at Chapman. Like he's
Just
doing the
get
opposite,
fat.
guys. Like look at Chappie. He's
Look at
literally doing
Lance
the opposite.
Lynn. I love Lance Lynn as my example. I
Yeah,
love
Lance
him.
Lynn. He's a hippo. For sure he's a hippo on the
He
mound.
throws fucking fuzz nuggets every
Yeah, he
day.
does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's not
His
upset
fastball
about
is
it.
97. He
With
throws
like
fuzz.
2,500.
Paul Skeens is a giant human. He's
Oh yeah.
285.
Yeah, and he's
Massive.
also like 6. He's like 6'7" too.
Isn't Jacob deGrom 6'6"?
He's 6'4", 6'5".
But he's so long. He probably has a very similar frame to a man of 6'6" height. He's very long.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Skeens, as he gets to higher level hitting and stuff. Because it's just a different game in college, you can see with him. Like I have my theories and stuff. So, even with Ben Joyce and stuff, I'm interested to see what like how things are going to go.
Dude, I'm interested in him just being exposed to just a good hitting college team. Because I'm not saying that the SEC was bad this year, but I've watched a lot of college baseball in the last, just as you have in the last week. Best team I saw.
It's cool. Hey, you know what's great? I was just thinking about this, and you just said that. I love Wheels because like I haven't been able to catch up because of this expansion, and like last night, and the night before, I was just able to like catch up on a couple games and just be like, okay, like hey guys, Wake Forest is kind of good, by the way. Surprise, 50-10. Go watch their ace throwing a hundo too. Like, who's this guy?
Oregon just dominating the Vanderbilt regional. Like, okay, right? Like, these guys are pretty good. Unranked Pac-12. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Stanford is the best hitting team in the nation in terms of stats. They have like 3 guys that have over 70 RBIs. They have 1 guy over 80.
Wow.
So
we're scoring runs, huh?
You have 3 guys that are creating, 230, 220 runs a year, and they're hitting bombs and doubles. So they do damage fast, and I saw them turn around to A&M pretty quick when they locked in. The first time I think they played A&M that first game, or whoever they played that first game, it was A&M they lost to. They just came out flat, dude. They're just super flat.
For sure. Right.
But a guy like Paul Skeens, dude, I'd love to see that dude against Stanford. That would be a game for me because you've got right-handed hitters for days. One guy's hitting like 4. Alberto Rios, who's the Pac-12 Player of the Year, I think he's hitting 417 with like 80 RBIs. Like he's raking. So I'd like to see him against that. Not that the SEC hasn't been great, but I watch the SEC guys. I feel like they're not complete hitters because I bash on California sometimes. I will. I don't care. I live here, right? But there is a process to the West Coast style of hitting that if you get a kid that's strong enough and you get a kid that is explosive and he learns to hit the ball the other way to start, you get really good hitters. Really, really, really good hitters. And that's what you see rolling in, like when Cal State Fullerton and Long Beach State, they had the Troy Tulowitzkis and the Evan Longorias and the, what's his name, the switch shooter for the A's for a long time. Can't think of it. Jed Lowry. All those guys are West Coast school guys, and they all are just like very line drive, gap to gap, right? You don't see that a lot in the SEC. A lot of guys that are like Bregman, where it's like, I'm probably going to try to go pull side bomb, or I'm just going to go a little base knock the other way.
Yeah.
So it's just different
This Dylan,
strategies.
yeah, this Dylan Cruz kid is interesting too. He's kind of like that too.
He's a beast, but feast or famine. It's a big time, like, it's an imperfected Luis Arias approach.
Right.
Pull side, I go big fly. Oppo, I hit a line drive. Like, but it's imperfected because their eyes aren't perfect. Like Luis Arias, he's hitting 401 still. Please say he's still hitting 401.
I
But
think so.
like, I would love to know. I bet Baseball Savant has that weird stat out there of like, maybe not. That would be so hyper specific of like balls swung out of the zone. I feel like him and Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman's the best, but he might be better. He like, your eyes have to be so good, I feel like, to play that game, to sell out so hard on left field bombs. Like, you gotta be good. Gotta be good.
Totally.
Plus, how would you beat that guy? If you knew that a guy was gonna sell out, pull side, big fly, opposite field, he just takes base knocks, right? How would you pitch to that guy? And he's right-handed.
So you just mean a fastball guy?
Pretty much.
Yeah, you mean a fastball guy?
Big
Obviously, I'm throwing cut. Yeah, I'm just throwing him cutters. I'm just throwing cutters. See how he reacts to it. You know, that's the equalizer. You know, no first pitch heaters. But I don't know. I'd have to see what his swing percentages per count / pitch would be. You know, does he? I don't know if he swings first pitch. I haven't seen enough live stuff from him for that. You know what I mean? So
he's exciting though. Those
he
LSU
is
players, they're exciting.
for sure, for sure. All right, my friend. Well, I apologize, but we got to run today.
Cool.
A little bit short, but
Last
I'm
day of
excited
school's
about the
on the
weekend.
way, so
Sweet.
we're gonna hang out.
Last day of school. Please like, subscribe, watch college baseball this weekend. Maybe we got it next week. We'll talk about how this weekend goes and see how the super regionals go.
TCU
So
did
that's gonna be
dominate. That
fun.
one dude had 11 RBIs, 2 grand slams. Dude, have a day. They did.
For sure. For sure. Have a day. Definitely. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe, follow. Have a good day, man.
Later, guys. Enjoy your summer if you're getting off today.